And there we go. Here we are with the first game of the round of 16 between New Chapter and NC. Let's know the 4 and the map is gonna be Migration, which is not that much of a surprise as it is quite a favorite map for the Germans. They definitely do like to play this map. And well, their lineup for this match is gonna be Sniper, Andorin and LB10. So yep, as I said before the game even started, this is gonna be all about 2k skill all around for all the players basically in the game, as you have a bit of a lag in there, so hopefully it's gonna be catching up. I'm gonna be just trying to slow it down a bit so that it is having a bit easier time with getting there. But yeah, there should be a bit of a pause quite soon, and that's probably gonna be the moment when it's gonna be catching up all around. Yeah, right now it seems to be getting a bit better. So for the opponents, for ST, for 6 tactics, it's gonna be Dlem, Spring, and Mateus. So of course plenty of high skill players in there as well, and the civilization so far seem to be a bit different in there, as we are looking at Spring, who is gonna be having quite an interesting island right next to the wall of the map, which is not really all that usual, but in this spawn actually it seems to be that basically everybody is gonna be having something like that. You can see Dlem already talking about the front docks for his point of the map, which seems to be making plenty of sense because he's actually flanked. He's gonna be fighting against Andorin, and the civilizations, for example, here is gonna be Andorin as the Viking, and well, against him is gonna be Dlem as the Persian, so definitely gonna be an advantage for Andorin. And usually on a map like this, you want to be having the Persians in the pocket, which is of course not the case for NCs either, but they do have a pocket Japanese. That is also quite actually big on any kind of water map, of course, because you can just easily boom, go for a fast castle, and maybe even go for some kind of other shenanigans as we are on Migration. So that is a possibility of some kind of fast landing onto the mainland. Definitely can happen right there. Well, just basically continuing the theme of being plastered right next to the map, which is really kind of unusual because usually you do have some kind of place how to go behind. And what's actually this? What the hell? What the hell is actually this? Like one extra island? This is so weird. You can see that this is basically supposed to be a part of the mainland. Yeah, this has absolutely no place in here. This is just basically kind of faulty generation, let's say it. This should be connected all the way, but apparently it was just basically interfering with dividing those islands or whatever. As you can see on the left side, there is absolutely the same thing, but it is not divided hardly, or rather in a hard way. And this is exactly what should have been in there, and this is really kind of unusual. Luckily for basically the game's progress, there is no gold or stone or anything on it, just bit of wood. So not really making any kind of big difference. But if there was extra gold, then that could have been potentially quite a significant advantage for NCs. But yeah, well, STs, well, might have dodged a bullet in there, and it's gonna be a bit easier for them, or easier, a bit more normal for them to actually play this Migration map. Well, a bit of loom coming up. We are at about 6 minutes 30, so potentially getting into times when players might be thinking if maybe it's gonna be time to advance into the feudal ages, about 21 villages and whatnot. For the Vikings, would be expecting something like that. So far, we might, for example, look at the resources and how are they placed and how are they gonna be assailable from the water if they happen to not control it for themselves. Bit of course, pushing off the deer, because what else are you gonna be doing on a map like this in the first minutes? But this seems to be fairly okay for the early feudal age and maybe even early castle age. But already, if you are gonna be losing the battle, this is gonna be a problem a bit later. Especially in the Imperial Age, you just won't be allowed to gather from there at all. So if somebody is gonna be having gold right about here, for example, then it's gonna be fairly safe. But yeah, that's not true for Mateus at all. For his pocket player, that's gonna be of course Spring. He's having kind of a similar situation. Not much of a difference. The stone is definitely unsafe. The gold is slightly better, but not really all that much. Yet again, Galeons definitely can shoot from here. And to be honest, maybe even from here. Quite decidedly about those villages that could be gathering from this point of the gold. So potentially this island is gonna be in threat as well. And the last player from Sick Tactics is of course having completely unsafe gold and stone, and that is a bit more usual for of course map like Migration. This is basically what I'm looking at right about now. Is somebody got lucky, like potentially Mateus could have gotten, but yeah, apparently doesn't seem so, as the stone is one of the safest resources in here. Not really all that much, because apparently the boats can go all the way. Yeah, they're gonna be passing this one as well, all the way in here. So they can get even on, even on the TC. So imagine if there are gonna be farms, which there are gonna be farms, then they are gonna be definitely in pretty deep trouble if Sniper is not gonna be winning the water against Mateus. And it's gonna be fight against a Viking, so Persian against a Viking, the same as on the other flank, the other way around. So we could be expecting interesting fights on both sides of the map, and it's probably gonna be decided by a better pocket. I'm definitely expecting that. You can see that already LB10 is coming for a bit of a scouting through the sheep. That's gonna be helping him, of course, as the gold seems to be a bit more concentrated at the bottom. Yeah, you can see all the mines in here. And doesn't seem to be all that much to the top. Yeah, just a lot of stone, apparently. 1 gold, and that's kinda it. So the island is definitely not spawned all that equally. Just a few gold mines in here. Much better at the bottom side for NC, so they might be having a bit of an advantage if they actually land faster than their opponents. Which is all that this game is gonna be all about. And well, as we are advancing into the feudal ages, the very first one was actually Sniper. And that is... well, he shouldn't be knowing who is actually against him at this point of the map. Yeah, I don't expect that he was scouting with a fishing boat, which he wasn't, and that's of course gonna be helping him quite significantly, because at this point the red player is gonna be advancing about, well, quite a lot later. Quite a lot later. You can see he went for about 24 villages, whereas Sniper advanced those 21, which is a bit unusual for Persian, but he probably thought, yeah, I'm a flank, so let's not risk anything and let's just go for galley rushing as fast as possible. Definitely makes plenty of sense, as Andorin is kinda thinking the opposite maybe, but he's probably coming from the way that he's a Viking and he can kinda afford it. That even if his opponent is gonna be advancing faster and producing boats faster, he should be catching up through the better economy and through the bonuses. So I'm really expecting that he was thinking about something like that. You can see already placing the dock at the back. Could be giving him, or rather giving us some kind of idea what he's gonna be coming for. He advanced at 22 villages, so that's definitely not any kind of fast castle. LB10 though is fast castling, 27 villages for him. And plenty of fishing boats, 15 fishing boats for him. Whereas for Spring we are having just 11 and advanced at 26. Yeah, well, that's kind of the similar, like, or rather as LB10, so I'm expecting that both pockets will be fast castling, as is kind of usual in here. And it's gonna be all about the flanks actually properly fighting. So far, of course, the fast advance took Mateus off guard quite significantly. He does have docks ready, but of course he's still hiding, because he kinda needs to wait for this first wave to actually go somewhere else, so that he can finally produce a bit more on the right, and then kinda overmaneuver Sniper, get rid of his reinforcements, and then when that's done, he will be potentially able to deal with this, or yeah, well, apparently the other way around. And is it really gonna be slinging from right of the start? Interesting choice by STs. That's gonna be spring into... who am I in? Who am I in? That's gonna be spring into... wow, actually into both? That's usually not what happens all that much. Usually choose basically just one player, and in this setup I would be probably slinging into the Viking. Because the Viking is of course making plenty more sense to somehow control the water, and through overpowering his flank, especially right now that he knows that he's not against a Viking but against Persian, so he should be winning. He's gonna be of course then having a slightly better chance of pushing into the pocket and disrupting LB10 as well. So this is kinda interesting decision, especially considering that on the right flank it's gonna be Lem facing against Andorin as a Viking. So, well, the sling is gonna help. Let's not say that it's not. It might be actually kinda leveling the field in here, so it does have some kind of merit. But let's see if it's gonna be enough, because of course the fast advance on the left flank was definitely quite significant for a Sniper. And you can see that Mateus is having so big troubles. So big troubles actually dealing with this overall. And you can see that apparently there is gonna be a sling from LB10 as well. Okay, so Japanese is gonna be slinging for NCs. Maybe they actually recognized it, because they didn't start with it. They went back, or rather a bit later, and oh well, this is interesting. Maybe actually STs are not going for full sling, and it was just a bit of a help for the very start, but NCs are definitely switching into full gear. You could have seen that already LB10 was having like a double of the resources that Spring sent, and that, in that case, of course, is gonna be making plenty of difference, because we are switching to Sniper. And Andorin is sending him plenty of resources, and since Andorin apparently doesn't need anything all that much, you can see he's doing a good job just by himself. Well, something that you would be expecting quite definitely. We might be also looking at how fast is LB10 gonna be getting into castle, or potentially even into the land. So far he's not advancing. Let's switch into LB10. that is gonna be not any kind of resources for him, so apparently he's gonna be just sticking into full sling. And of course castle ages are coming up for Andorin and Spring and Lam. Faster, quite faster than for example for Sniper. And this is very interestingly played, because Spring is apparently gonna be joining into the water battle, I would be at this point expecting. Yeah, Asret is kinda falling back by just one dog, or am I seeing this wrong? Yes, I'm wrong. Hans is definitely gonna be having a few more dogs in there, and it seems like that if he can somehow survive with at least a bit of economy in this early game, then we might be looking at quite an interesting comeback from STs on the water, because so far they're definitely not doing very well at this point. As of course Sniper is kinda burying the Viking, which is highly surprising, but yeah, well, the sling is not really the reason for that. He was winning basically even before, because he advanced way faster, and apparently Mateus wasn't counting with that all that much. But the sling is definitely helping him, because he's having like double of the boats in there, and apparently Red is not all that lucky and all that successful in actually catching up with him. So Sniper is kinda damaging the economy of Spring quite significantly at this point. At the same time, on the right flank, we can see that Andorin is finally moving forward. He was just a moment ago basically perpetually fighting right next to his island. He's finally been able to breach through enemy lines and advance forward on the Persian, which is of course quite important, because usually the Persians on migration are the ones who actually land, because of their booming capability in gas leech and whatnot. But so far it doesn't seem to be the case, and yeah, well, he kinda has to be careful, because you can see already something that we talked about here. This is gonna be an issue, as of course those villages are gonna be well in range, especially right now of all those war galleys. So war galleys coming up for Springs, for Dlam, Castle coming for Mateus as well, and war galleys for Sniper also. Okay, so everybody's just basically advancing as you would be expecting. Hello everybody from the stream. Thanks for the host or raid. Well, it's kind of the same, but yeah, definitely thanks for that. And hopefully you're gonna be enjoying the game that we are so far having, and it is not really looking all that bad, especially considering that at the bottom it's looking that actually Mateus could be finally coming into his full game, and he might be actually somehow pushing back onto Sniper, because he does have the numbers. He doesn't have right now the war galleys yet, but he's already getting into Castle Age, and apparently Sniper is quite worried about the numbers, just about the sheer numbers, and he doesn't really want to lose that all that much, but at the same time he kinda needs to be worried about the Castle Age definitely coming there. So, it's not like he has all that much of a time, and you can see just a bit of raiding in there going on, but apparently it's gonna be coming back and trying to delete the economy of Spring, as well as apparently Spring is fully coming into the water, and let's see what side he actually chooses. So far I would be slightly favoring the bottom, because that was the side where there was a bit more problem than at the top, but apparently it's gonna be switching, as the Vikings should be at this point advancing into Castle Age, just able to hold on at least Sniper, whereas on the right side the Vikings, Andorin is moving forward, and yeah, the assistance from Spring is definitely needed, so that's the correct decision, and Dlam with Spring are gonna be fighting against lone Andorin. So far we are also looking at LB10, who is doing some kind of fun stuff on the little island that is not supposed to be island, rather some kind of peninsula. But yeah, well, the map spawned kind of funny. And oh well, how did you get there? Are you actually in a legal way in there? Apparently yes, there seems to be a bit of water in there, so he might be getting back if he isn't destroyed. Yep, he's not coming back, but still the boats from Andorin are in good enough numbers, and his Imperial Age is coming up. His Imperial Age is coming up, of course, from all the slinging. You can see 7,000 slung, whereas for Spring it's just 800, and basically as it seemed like that he may be slinging at the very start, it was just to kickstart his allies, and he's not gonna be continuing with that at all. Alright, I'm just really curious about this. Okay, it's just gonna be villager for putting up some efficient docks. You can see 28 fishing boats at this point for LB10, that's one hell of a boom. It's actually very good booming at this point, and it's gonna be fairly efficient because of this little island. So that's quite nice help, as there's a bit of scouting of the ship next to Wolfie. And apparently he has already landed quite significantly, though, going for the lumber camp, and he is of course gonna be moving forward also with Sniper, who is dropping a town center. So at this point it's probably looking like that actually Sniper recognized that STs are gonna be coming into the water quite significantly at this point, and he quite frankly doesn't have all that much of a chance to stand against Prepared Viking, which seems to be right now the state of Mateus. So I will be really expecting that Yeah, he's gonna be right now just basically trying to protect himself and potentially even just try to send the villagers already. But he's having plenty of gold here. He's having so much gold that he doesn't want to really lose, and it's gonna be race for time because he's probably gonna be having a bit of a ferry for all the villagers and abandoning this point, as of course he is already almost there with the town center, and at that point he is gonna be the master of the land, as the opponents are absolutely not landing at all. They're still playing for the water. Here we go, as the water for Andorran at the top seems to be quite promising, and apparently Spring is just basically falling back a bit, trying to amass a few more boats than he's gonna be engaging the green player. As Purple Lamb is kinda looking like giving up on it. Yeah, you don't even see any kind of boats hidden in there. And what is he actually gonna be doing then? Because his gold is in debtors, you can see already losing villages in there, the same as on the wood. So what's gonna be the plan for him? Right now he's just basically keeping Andorran busy, waiting for Spring to amass some kind of armada so that he can beat him. But otherwise, at the bottom, definitely nice job by Sniper, and it seems that Andorran will be joining him here as well, with at least a few boats. And yeah, this is just basically exactly a protection for the ferry, so that he can transport as many villages on the mainland as possible, as Mateus is doing what he can to push through, but unfortunately it doesn't seem to be strong enough. Andorran, Imperial Age Galleons and Chemistry coming up, he's gonna be owning the waters at the top, no problem at this point, as Spring though is coming into Imperial Age as well, so he might be wanting to challenge him. But yeah, I don't exactly see how that could be working in the long run. Anyway, another TC coming up for depression, as he's coming into his own, coming for the barracks, and it's gonna be of course followed by stable and kinda some monastery as well, I'm expecting, because usually a few monks, at least 1-2, to gather some kind of relics and get prepared if potentially the enemies are already gonna be having horses in there, and yeah, horses of your own to basically prevent some kind of landing. Okay, so blue still getting ready, but of course the investment into the Imperial Age was quite heavy, and still he will have to wait about 2-3 minutes before he's done with the Galleons himself. So this is gonna be the time when Andorran kinda needs to push, and he's definitely correct to do so, as he does have the advantage, and if he can even force Spring into some kind of bad engagement, maybe even force him next to Mateus, and then basically Sniper and Andorran from both sides would be converging in there, that could be quite a fatal blow for STs if they cannot handle that. So far they should be able to, as you can see that Mateus is doing a good job against Sniper, as Sniper is losing the opportunities how to transport the villages, and even though he did already move plenty, well, you could have seen he can go all the way here, so from this position you shoot all the way here, absolutely everywhere, so the stone is lost, and from the right side the gold is absolutely toastish, no problem with that at all, so this could be proving quite interesting still, as even though STs are not really landed yet, well, scratch that, just now Mateus is landing, which is quite surprising as a Viking. That's something I would not expect. I would be expecting that Viking would be continuing to actually fight on the water, but apparently not. Apparently not, and that's gonna be something a bit different happening in here, as the Imperial Age is finally hitting for Spring, so Galleons are gonna be coming up as well, and apparently he was able to safeguard plenty of boats for the fight against Andorran. So Andorran might be actually wanting to wait for reinforcements. He doesn't seem to be all that ready for this fight. That's gonna come very soon. But he's also landing, so we are kind of looking to actually switch into the mainland, it seems like, quite fully, and it seems already underway quite significantly by NCs, and they are really well established, and at this point it's gonna be very hard for Sick Tactics to do something, especially with all the horses already being there. DC is gonna be coming up, that's a bit of a luck for STs. Oh well, he's gonna be probably discovering the boats the other way. Do a bit of scouting. But really I'm not entirely certain what actually is the purpose right now of Dlam. But because he's not really fighting on the water, he's coming for cartography. Is he like slinging? Dlam, no he isn't, so I'm kinda at a loss a bit. What's actually going on with him, because he hasn't landed yet. It's not like it's easy at this point, because of course he's having Andorran all across him. But maybe that could be some kind of opportunity for him, but yeah, well, let's see how it develops for him, because of course right now there is... Oh! Okay, massive landing right now by Mateus, unfortunately for him, encountered by plenty of knights. Plenty of knights indeed. He was able to put up at least one barracks. Doesn't seem that it's gonna be even more, as the siege workshop is gonna be finished for Sniper just in the nick of time. And yeah, apparently SDs are gonna be right now calling it a GG, as this is a very tough moment to be in, and especially considering that SDs are not landed yet, and the waters are gonna be in power of NCs. Yeah, well, this is gonna be 1-0, and the home map for NCs definitely paid off for them. So let's wait what the home map for STs is gonna be, if they are gonna be able to actually take this into the decider in the third one. Well, that was quite competently done by NCs, but to be honest, STs definitely did have the chance in there. It seems basically better tactical preparation and strategical preparation for NCs paid off, because otherwise STs were right there with them. It's not like they didn't really have any kind of chance, but maybe just weren't familiar enough with how to play migration on the top level. Who knows? But that's the power of home maps and exactly what is important in RTS League. Know your home map and you can gain advantage against unprepared opponents. Okay, so we're gonna be looking into post-game where... something interesting, probably not much. Just LB10, yeah, he wasn't having anything at all. He actually made second unit. I'm not entirely certain what that was. Beside the scout. Yeah, well, who knows. Maybe you can see it still. I don't see it exactly. Yeah, well, we could be probably looking for that for quite some time. Apparently he did make something, and it seems like that we're gonna be looking at Arabia as the home of STs. So let's go through the rest. Very good economy from him, you can see all around. Very good eco, especially all those fishing boats. He was in plenty of them, and Little Island definitely helped him in the efficiency. Yeah, Poxo, that's true. That could probably be the transport, that's gonna be it. Yeah, good thinking. That's gonna be the second military unit for LB10. Okay, GG.